Welcome, one and all, to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast for our preview and prediction of Elimination Chamber. I am the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man that makes the other podcast cower, the prince and potentate of the political parlance, the lord of the Scottish Highlands, the king of extreme himself, Phil KOE, that you can find, of course, at KOE Nation on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. Folks, you know, this is going to be an incredible event. We're going to have, hopefully, all the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast cast here. But for this moment in time, for this moment in space and time that we all occupy together, I am joined by my indomitable broadcast partner, the one, the only,
the non-Kappa friendly, the quadruple distilled, non-chill filtered, 14-time Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast champion, and the Blend Masters ceremonies, Tony fucking G. Like, share, subscribe to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. Obviously, for tonight, the predictions and preview show of tomorrow night's Elimination Chamber premium live event. And of course, you're going to want to like, share, subscribe for the fallout, for the results, for the review, for the star ratings of Elimination Chamber after tomorrow night. Folks, again, like, share, subscribe, hit the notifications because you're not going to want to miss any of our analysis, because it frankly is the best analysis that you can get on YouTube, Facebook, or the entire internet.
in pro wrestling today,
Twitch,
basically.
even D Live, folks on there. Like, it is what it is. Tyler
Williams says, I won't.
And won't take a gin shot for fun, and I love you. I love you too, Tyler.
Well, now, I'm not going to take this gin shot for fun, but I will take it out of spite. Fuck you, Tyler.
Wow, out of spite. See, that was fun. He took
in its own way.
And
okay, until it actually had to swallow it. That part wasn't fun.
We're not alone on this journey, though, Phil. We are joined by
really?
the reigning, defending, I don't know if it's 10 times. I quit counting after the first few because I don't know. It is what it is. The one, the only, the sexiest man alive, the champ, Chicken.
The 10-time Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast champion, Chicken, is here to give you the rundown on what's about to happen tomorrow night at the Elimination Chamber.
Because, Chicken, since you've had so many championship reigns, it's clear that you're a student of the game. You've been studiously watching every second of pro wrestling content that this week has to offer. And you are ready to give, like, basically you
just like all of us. Yes.
Yep. You're going to tell us who's going to give the best hip tosses, who's going to have the best arm drags. You're ready for all of that. But let's be frank, folks. This is going to be an interesting event. I think it's about time to start phasing out gimmick match events. Okay. I kind of like the idea of
there. Can we start there? Can we start there? Please. Thank you. Good God. This is the reason. This is the shining example of why we don't know, not just gimmick matches, gimmick match cards. There is no reason to have an Elimination Chamber event. There's no reason to have an Elimination Chamber event. There's no reason to have a Hell in a Cell premium live event, there's no reason to have a TLC premium live event. I'm glad we're kind of sort of phasing those out. The Elimination Chamber has been a staple over a long time now, but you've got to understand, if you've got a gimmick match that's supposed to be one of the be-all, end-all of multiple people feuding, coming together to settle a score or vie for a championship, you shouldn't have to scramble to put people in that match. And that's what this has become. You only need one gimmick event, and that's the Royal Rumble, folks, because that actually sets up for your biggest event of the year. Elimination Chamber has become a speed bump and a hindrance on the way to WrestleMania, because you have to take a bunch of random-ass people, shove them into a match, 2 matches now, actually, a men's and a women's, and try to get that somehow coincide with WrestleMania. Now, this year, it's a little different because typically the winner of the Royal Rumble announces who they are vying for. Do they want the WWE champion or the Universal champion? That's how it's been in years past. This year, as for the last several, that is still one person, Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble. He's the one challenging for the undisputed Universal World Championship. This year's men's Elimination Chamber, instead of just skipping it all together, will be for the United States Championship held by Austin Theory. Will the match be good? Probably. We're going to tell you.
Austin Theory's like the folks in it. But hang on, guys. Before we get into that
lineup on that match,
it's a stack lineup. But here's just a thought here, just 2 thoughts here, because the Elimination Chamber gimmick pay-per-view or premium live event doesn't have to go away altogether, but I think it does for a while. I think it's one of those things that you only pull out once every 2 or 3 years. And it's one of those, how can I miss you if you don't go away? And then another idea, because they're thinking about bringing back the women's only pay-per-view once a year. That's the time of year where you do the women's Royal Rumble match and you do the women's Elimination Chamber match on one card. You pack this card as big as you possibly can, so everybody has to see it. It becomes must see. Think about it, Tony. If there's one card that you knew had the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber and one card, like, there's no way we're missing that. Okay, so I think that's one way to go with it. But I think those gimmick match pay-per-views, it is an instance of how can I miss it? Like, and they don't need to do it the same month every year. Like, Elimination Chamber could be June of like next year, and then 4 years down the road, it's in March because it makes sense, because a lot of people just line up perfectly.
I don't want to mark down on my calendar when Hell in a Cell or Elimination Chamber or TLC are.
True.
I would rather be surprised.
I don't think you have to. I think what we're doing right now is what it should be. USA title hasn't been important for a long time. Intercontinental Championship.
Chicken, you know Vince isn't hiring right now, right?
Stop. The lower belts have never gotten pushes or press or excitement. I think this is actually the right way to go. This should be for the USA title. This should be for the Intercontinental Championship. Like, that's what the Elimination Chamber should be for. And then your main event should still be for the world title or whatever we're going for. Like, I think this is the right way to go for it. And like, yeah, it's gimmicky.
Given the circumstances.
Yeah, like, so let's call it Elimination Chamber, but that's not like you still have a main event. You still have a main event that's Universal Championship bound, like or level. I don't think you get rid of it, because the concept is actually okay. It's not great. There's been some great ones, but there's been a lot of shitty ones too. I like this. I like that it's not for the world title, or Universal title or whatever. I'd like that it's for a lower belt, because this gives significance to a lower belt, which we have not seen in several fucking years. Nobody cares about the USA title. Nobody cares about Intercontinental Championship. But when you make the event about those,
you make an interesting point, Chicken, because even in my personal, when I'd play PS4 WWE 2K19, my Elimination Chamber matches were always for the lower titles to make them interesting again. So, and it kind of gives lower card folks to get a shot. And yes, Tony,
and those are the people that are
pigeonhole my 2K universe into this.
And that's where you get the testing ground for people that you get to see if they pop. Like when they
do you
win
think
the
Montez
Elimination
Ford
Chamber.
was going to see an Elimination Chamber match in the next 4 years without a match like this? You make a great point. So, and
It's a chance
because he
for
wasn't an
you to
easy
put-
one to throw in.
he's the
It's a
person I'm most
chance.
looking forward to seeing. Is
Well,
Montez Ford in the Elimination Chamber?
it's a chance to put somebody like Montez Ford on that stage
Over.
to see what the crowd pop does, and then the Triple H's that are running this whole goddamn thing get to go, hey, you know what? The
One of my
pop we
cons.
got there at Elimination Chamber, imagine what we did at SummerSlam with him. And then we'd start building him. It's a chance to understand, like, if you can build a fucking new, like, you don't have to create a star, but you can take somebody that you have already and like make a fucking a run at a title that's worth watching.
Oh, if they don't make a star out of Montez Ford with this one, they are. This is a wasted
not going
opportunity.
to.
But
They're-
all right,
they're not going
now
gonna
that we're
counter-
kind of
I'm
getting
going
our
to counter
pants
that
off
real
this.
quick with one thought. Austin Theory as the champ, he's fine. I think he's an incredible worker, and I think he's got an incredibly bright
he's
future.
okay.
That's your
I like what
I
he's
think
doing
great.
now.
I think he's great. I think he has a lot of potential.
6 months
But
ago sucked.
this-
Now is good.
Yeah,
No, when he was
This-
under Vince's wing,
this match
he was doing
is
great.
not
Now-
going to be the be-all, end-all that puts the U.S. title in the
Phil,
limelight. This
Phil's
match
like,
is not
tell me I'm a
going to
Vince
be
mark without
what
saying I'm
takes
a
Tony,
the
I'm
Vince
going to
mark.
tell you
title
why you're
to
wrong
new
here.
heights. And you'll be wrong. That's fine. This match is not
you're gonna
going to
hate me.
be what makes the U.S. title relevant again. It's just not, because here's the thing. It's, again, a
Kind
bunch of
of
random
is.
people put into a cage, and then we
Tony,
did
it's
this
an
randomly over
experiment.
the last few weeks. That's not the
I'm okay with it.
This
That's
isn't
all I'm
going
saying.
to get relevancy back to the title, because here in a couple months at
It's a-
WrestleMania,
it's a
going to be
trial.
probably another
Maybe it
triple
does.
threat between Austin Theory and one of the two other people in this match. And after the fact, it won't matter, because it's always going to be a secondary title. It's always going to be a stepping stone, and they're never going to see it as validated. It's not going to bring the title into relevancy. Now, given the circumstances, like you said, since Cody's going for both
You're going to eat
belts,
those words, T.
this
He's going
does
to,
make
yeah.
sense, but I would have rather just seen it gone away for a year.
Now, all
And it
right,
would have felt more special next week.
guys. All right. We're kind of getting into
And the USA
match.
Championship would not have felt
So-
any fucking
Okay,
better.
all right. That's enough with
And
the
it won't
Elimination
after
Chamber
that.
main event. Let's get into the card, gentlemen. So,
Let's do it.
all right. So we got Chicken, the 10-time champion, defending his title against the 15-time former champion Tony G. And I
14.
believe I'm 14.
It's
I thought you're
14,
15. Okay, and I believe
I will
I'm
be
left-
after tomorrow.
I think I'm 11 or 12. I forget which one. I'll have to go back and retally. But, folks, this is going to be the event that decides who will be the reigning, defending Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast and undisputed WWE champion going into
Oh,
WrestleMania. Yes, folks, I'm looking forward to it. You're looking forward to it. So, Tony, Chicken, as the champion, which match do you want to start first with our predictions?
let's go with the easiest one. Women's Elimination Chamber. Let's start there.
Okay. Also, Tony and I have a tiebreaker point of which match is going to open the event.
So let's
This
start
is-
with that.
This
You guys
is the
start with
match
the
that I
tiebreaker.
think is going to open the event. Is the Women's Elimination Chamber match. And I
Okay.
gotta say, other than Asuka here, like Tony, Chicken, I'm gonna need you both to put on MMA gloves and just fucking throw just haymakers at my face, beat the shit out of me for 5 solid minutes. And that's how hard you're gonna have to beat me for me to see some actual stars in this match.
Okay.
Like,
okay,
Jesus,
man.
like, other than Asuka, where, like, Liv Morgan, sure, she's on the rise. Natalia is present.
That's
And
a way
yeah,
to say it.
And then we got a couple other folks who are trying to get to the big time here. Let's see. We got, Raquel Rodriguez and,
Nikki Us, Carmella, Asuka, Liv Morgan, Natalia. This is not.
wow, Carmella's had a lot of work done. I couldn't
so-
even recognize
so-
her on that picture.
Phil, you're right. This is here's how I see this going down. Nobody else gets an elimination. Asuka runs the table. This is how I would book this match. You fucking make her. She just came back. She looked great. She's been looking awesome. Like, let her just fucking run the table and show total dominance. Now, the only hiccup is you've been pushing Liv Morgan for fucking 18 months or however long this has been. You can't make Liv Morgan look weak after she was already champion.
Mhm.
So that's going to be the problem they have to deal with. So I got my 1 point pick, Asuka, half point pick, Liv Morgan.
Ooh, damn. That's, I'm going to be honest with you. I can't disagree too much there. Like, I think Liv Morgan would be one of them to go the distance, just to make her look good. But my 1 point pick is also going to be Asuka, but my half point pick is going to be the eternally money Mela herself. Why?
Mhm.
Because the back room, whether we like him or not,
The crowd would hate it. It's
the
great.
back room counts on her more than they want to admit. Like, Tony, you remember when we saw her live? She was just such a smarmy fucking heel that just everybody wanted to see her get her comeuppance. And so that's why I
her
say
character work
she's
is top
not
shelf.
she's not a great wrestler.
No.
She's an amazing worker. And so that's why
That's a good pick.
I think she's always in case emergency break open glass championship pick. And so that's why I'm throwing her in there.
The reason I didn't pick her is because Asuka is such a fucking big push on this one.
Yeah, it's
Carmella
Evil
doesn't
Asuka.
make sense.
It's going to be Asuka. I've also got Asuka as my 1 point. It's going to be Asuka. I don't know that it's going to happen exactly how you laid it out, Chicken, because they just did that with Shayna Baszler.
It would have been so cool, though.
And they wasted Shayna. I would think it would work better here.
Doesn't mean they can't waste Asuka too, Tony. Come on.
I know. They like to go to the well. I know. I would love to see it because I think that makes sense for the way that they're treating Asuka. But I think this is going to come down to probably Asuka, and you look at that field and it's like, who really feels in that field that really could stand toe to toe and make you almost believe she can't win, but they're not. They're going to keep Asuka strong here, so it's got to be Asuka.
Carmella's picture's been a little too airbrushed. Like, I couldn't even recognize her. Like,
well,
man.
It's because she looks brunette there. I don't know. It's too brunette. So my initial thought, I was kind of thinking Chicken, go with Liv because of the push. It was a failure. I'm sorry. Can we just admit that? It was a fucking failure. And Mela, yeah, she's a great
People were
worker.
saying that about Roman 3 years ago.
You were right, Phil. She's a great worker, but
Roman got
she's
shoved
not a
down
great
your
wrestler.
throat. That's different.
The problem is, if we're talking about Rhea versus Charlotte at WrestleMania, we have to have an opponent for Bianca Belair. It's probably going to be Asuka. But if it's not going to be Asuka coming out of this match, amongst that field, who is it going to be? The easy thing.
Okay, if you were Bianca, if you put it that way, if you were Bianca going into Mania and it's not Asuka out of this field, who do you want to work with that you think you can get another 5-star Mania moment?
And that's kind of what I'm saying here. It's not Natalya. Sorry, it's never going to be Natalya again. It's not Nikki.
You can rely on Natalya for a good 3-7-5 match.
Okay,
they know.
It's not, though. It's not going to be Natalya. It's not going to be Nikki Ass.
Nikki's a gimmick.
Liv is going to give you a terrible match, regardless of the push recently.
So
Carmella,
it's fun to watch.
Carmella's going to work her ass off. She's going to look like $1 million. It's not going to be a great match. So I'm going to go with Raquel. I think Raquel gives the best match if it's not going to be Asuka.
Okay, so what's your 1 point and your point? So is that your point 5?
My 1 point is Asuka. My half point's Raquel.
Okay, now I'm going to be honest with you. Like, before we move on, I just want to say, like, if I was Bianca Belair looking at honestly, I would feel the safest with Natalya, honestly, because no matter if you have the worst day of your life, you come in with a god-awful flu, you're shitting, puking everywhere, and you're barely able to make it out to that fucking ring, she will still get you through to a 3-7-5 match because she's that much of a veteran and a professional. So there is that to consider, but I would say in the end, it's either Mel or Asuka. So, Tony, what's the next match?
Let's move along to the mixed tag match.
Oh, thank God.
Beth Phoenix and Edge versus
we don't have enough of these.
Balor and Rhea Ripley of Judgment Day.
because I was just thinking, like, thank the Lord. You know what really, everybody needs for a really good, long, thorough bathroom break in the arena is a good mixed tag match. It's it gets nobody over and gets everybody under. I mean, it's the best thing. And so surely we got to keep our part-time talent Edge and Beth Phoenix strong. Can't let the kids who are actually going to be here tomorrow actually fucking. So, unfortunately, do I think we need to keep Rhea Ripley as strong as steel going into Mania? Yes. Unfortunately, Finn Balor, I'm sorry, but you have no hope in life. You're eating the fucking pin in this match 100%, probably from a spear from Beth Phoenix, of all things. And it's unfortunate. All it's gonna do is sweep the leg from under Rhea Ripley. Finn's gonna look like a fucking jobber of jobbers. Edge, who isn't even going to probably fucking be at Mania. That's only a 50-50. I mean, it's a 2-night event, so they can squeeze him in if they got to. But so he's going to get a fucking big pinfall, and it's horse shit. So Rhea and Finn should be the winner, and if I am wrong, I will not be at all upset, but no, Edge and Beth Phoenix are going to fucking win. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm doing a James Crowder change my mind moment.
No, I'm 100% in agreement with Phil. I think Phil fucking laid it out perfectly there. We got Beth. Oh my God, the hair. It's such a distraction.
Like when I see that hair, I'm just like shot back to the 80s. Oh, I'm halfway. Yeah. Oh, living
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it. But yeah, the story has to continue. Edge and Beth win. And this doesn't hurt Rhea. And you're right, Finn's probably going to be the one to eat the pin.
Probably. Like chicken. Like
95% chance. Finn Balor eats the pin.
All right, chicken.
95%.
Like we haven't seen how the match goes yet, but this is like a
ballsy call.
This is like a poker hand where you have pocket aces, and then on the flop, 2 aces drop. Okay, you're probably gonna win. It's not.
That's like a 99% chance I win.
Yeah, Finn's like if I had to bet, like that's your odds of Finn eating the pin in this match. Like I hate it.
This is
Tony,
the most predictable match on the card.
Please,
I'm just
please tell me that we're wrong.
So if you look back when Edge got laid up, quote unquote, by Judgment Day, we actually enjoyed that angle. Like even though the post match was pretty damn busy and a little suspension of disbelief, it actually made Judgment Day for a moment feel like it was important and threatening. And they smashed Beth's head in with chairs. Like it looked big. It looked big. It felt big, and it was a big moment. You put Edge out,
and they ruined it.
Skull in, and then they didn't do a lot with it. But then at the Royal Rumble, Beth comes back and attacks Rhea with a spear, and then never shows up again until Raw, even though she was in the building with her at Royal Rumble, whatever. And now they're doing the mixed tag. This is the return from that blow off. Well, there's 2 ways to go about this. And one, it's probably going to happen, like you guys were just saying. Finn is there to eat the pin. That way Rhea doesn't have to eat a loss heading into Mania. Or Edge and Beth lose again.
Stop with your conspiracy theories.
Or Edge and Beth lose again so that Edge can win at WrestleMania 1-on-1 versus Finn, which, fuck it, I'm going to go with it against my better judgment. I'm going to go with Finn and Rhea. Rhea gets the pin to keep her strong going into Mania.
God, I hope
I'm going to be wrong.
You're right.
I'm going to be wrong. I'm telling you, I'm going to be wrong, but that's what's going to happen.
Now I feel good about holding my championship. Thank you.
Oh, I'm suddenly worried about now it's going to be me and Chicken in the running here. But also, Tony, I hope you're right. Chicken, even if you lose the belt over this, you can't feel bad about that.
No, here's what's going to happen is so they're going to win, But what's going to happen is Judgment Day comes in, shows dominance, and like does this, the afterward beat down.
You know what they call
Like,
that?
to make-
The afterbirth.
Yeah.
Like every match doesn't need an afterbirth.
No,
Okay. But
That's-
there's going to be one here.
Super predictable.
Like, I was about to say that should be the tiebreaker point. Is there going to be an afterbirth in this match or not?
I assumed that this was going to be the WrestleMania match, and they're doing it here. So I'm assuming now that they're going to do Finn and Edge one-on-one at WrestleMania. So I'm hoping
that'll be cool, though.
Rhea
I'm okay
strong,
with that.
Jesus, okay.
And they give Edge a reason to go to
You know what I
WrestleMania.
was about to say when you said that would be cool? Right before you said, when Tony's like, they're going to do Finn versus Edge at WrestleMania. My first thought is, for whose amusement? Like what?
I'm
like
okay
why?
with that.
Like I mean, you know why we never saw
No, Kermit,
Hulk
it
Hogan
has not
versus
happened
Lodi?
yet.
Tony, you know why we never saw Hulk Hogan versus Lodi in WCW? Because we didn't need to.
Okay, so here's the storyline they need to build, and there's not enough time, but it would be for the leadership of Judgment Day, to where Edge goes, Finn, if I beat you, I get it back. I know it's a stupid story.
It is.
It doesn't make sense, but
I didn't
like
know
this is
people could be
WWE.
traded like baseball cards, but yeah.
Well, no, they used to do this shit all the damn time. But it's like, hey, if they can create doubt that Finn is not the leader, he is not a good member, and that Edge should come back because he was the founder, and like you could create the storyline, you could make it happen. I don't think it's worth the time, but I could see them doing it. However, I could just see, hey, they just fucking hate each other and they want to beat the shit out of each other at WrestleMania. Let's have them do it. It would be a good fucking opening match. People pop for Edge. Finn Balor puts on good matches, even with people like Edge. Yeah, I'd watch it. It's fun.
I mean, Finn
to
Balor's a
answer
great
Kermit
wrestler,
Cats
but
real
he's been
quick,
booked like
the
shit.
Chamber match has not happened yet. That is tomorrow night. You should like, share, subscribe to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast for our
We'll give you
results,
all the
review, and
deets.
analysis of the show. That is tomorrow night, February 18th. So check that out, but most importantly, check us out after the show to get the results, because that's really all that matters if you don't want to watch the show, which I can totally appreciate. And again, I can appreciate what you guys are saying.
Isn't such a great
But
problem.
Edge, if you have Edge, you guys are saying, oh, Edge doesn't need to be at WrestleMania. Phil, you said, oh, you can slide him in there. There's 2 nights. Edge is going to be at WrestleMania. And the only thing he's been doing is feuding with Finn Balor. So they're going to randomly just throw a different opponent at him now before WrestleMania? No, it's going to be Finn and Edge. So
That could be a pre-show match.
That immediately takes this being a slam dunk for Edge and Beth and brings it down to 50-50. So I don't hate my chances. I'm probably going to be wrong.
Tony, they could do Edge versus Finn Balor
Anyway.
on the SmackDown WrestleMania. You know, the SmackDown they do right before WrestleMania that they now call WrestleMania, and then the Raw after WrestleMania
So
that they
we
call
all
Raw
had-
WrestleMania.
We all had Edge and Beth winning. Is that
No,
right?
Tony's
No,
got
I picked
Rhea.
Finn and Rhea.
Oh,
Okay. All right,
Remember, you feel so good now. You feel
let's
good about
move
retaining.
on to let's see. This is going to be 2
The
big
beefy boys.
beefy boys, big beefy some bitches.
Yes, we are moving on to the big beefy hosses. Lashley.
Say it's
Bobby
a hoss.
Lashley versus Lesnar.
Hold on.
Brock
Ready?
Lesnar.
And the winner,
Brock Lesnar. Oh, do we,
Thanks.
man, Paul. Like, bro, don't get me wrong. This new Brock has been great without Paul, but like, boy, do we need Paul back once in a while.
we do.
But
It would make it so much better. New Brock with Paul would be so fucking great.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think like now this is kind of a funny thing. Like I was gonna mention this on the previous segment, like, but this is the difference of the impacts of stables have. Today, when I was thinking about who I was gonna pick in each match, for about like 40 seconds, my mind went blank as to what the stable that Rhea Ripley, Finn Balor, Damian Priest is in. Like for 30 seconds, like, oh fuck, what are they called again? And I couldn't remember it. But the minute I thought of Bobby Lashley, oh yeah, and the fucking Hurt Business. And that's where I think this is actually going to go. I think MVP or Shelton Benjamin, probably MVP, is going to run some level of interference, allowing for Bobby Lashley to take the W here to make the momentum for the big rematch at WrestleMania. So I'm giving the W to Do We Love Bobby Lashley.
Now, for that exact same reason, Phil, that's why I think Brock takes this one. Lashley's been on a tear. Now, I didn't get to watch fucking everything this week.
MVP joins Brock. Nice.
No.
He's the new head of the Hurt Business.
No.
I love it.
I just don't know who was standing tall on last episodes. I haven't watched Raw or SmackDown this week. I have no idea. But to me, it makes more sense. Like, if we're gonna have another one, like, this is what we do with Brock Lesnar now, is we put him in these matches where we fucking have him feud with a guy, and then we do the match fucking not 3 times, 4 times. Let's push this 5 times. Let's maybe go 6. So like Brock Lesnar's just gonna feud with everybody until he can't wrestle anymore, because like you can't bring him down to a certain level. Like they use these 2 guys to make the US Championship look great and let Austin Theory get over, and then they move on. But like, are they like, here's my problem with this whole goddamn thing. I don't care who wins. I honestly don't. I'm picking Brock on this one, but no matter who wins, like Austin Theory got over both of these guys. Like, really, that we're supposed to believe that Austin Theory is the US champ and moved past these 2 guys because these guys' egos are too goddamn big to worry about a championship, when these 2 guys should be in the Universal Championship fucking conversation. Like,
yeah, the problem is, hey, Chicken, how many more times do we need to see Brock and Roman?
No, yeah, exactly, and that's what we're turning into with Bobby. Like, we're gonna beat this horse to death.
Oh, because remember how long they held off doing this? So yeah, they are gonna ride this horse to death, and then when it dies, they're gonna kick it a few times and then eat it. Okay, so like that.
But what's the score right now? It's Bobby 2 and Brock 1.
This is the 3rd meeting between these 2 one-on-one. The first one was won by Lashley because of some bullshit with MVP helping on the outside. The rematch, I believe, was in Saudi Arabia. Brock got the W, and it was kind of a lackluster, out of nowhere, lackadaisical win. This is the trilogy. I assumed that they were going to hold this off for WrestleMania. So that's why I'm like, are they doing this to finish the trilogy? Or is this going to somehow be a catalyst for yet a 4th match at WrestleMania?
I think this is going to keep going.
So this is one I'm actually ridiculous.
They don't know what to do with these guys. They're not Universal Championship fucking material. They're above the fucking US title. Like, so they're in this weird fucking like limbo of let's just keep fighting each other until Roman Reigns is gone, and then we can get back into the title picture. Like,
I think it's more about the storyline that they're trying to tell and the calendar working.
Dude, the story sucks. The story sucks.
That's because the calendar's working against them. They booked themselves into a corner, and they have to abide by, okay, it's WrestleMania season coming up, but until then, what do we do? So this being just another stepping stone to the match that they wanted to actually get to at WrestleMania, that's what I'm looking at this match as. So does that mean Lesnar? It depends on who they want to come out on top at WrestleMania, because we're going to do a 4th.
Well,
who do we actually think is going to win at WrestleMania? Because whoever wins at WrestleMania is going to lose this match.
Yeah, but
I don't.
So, Tony, who you got?
So it comes down to the Hurt Business. Is this where the Hurt Business really redefines itself, really plants its flag? Bobby Lashley really joins back into the Hurt Business, and they help him get the W, and then Brock gets his revenge at Mania? Or does Brock get the W here, and then for Bobby Lashley to overcome Brock, he needs the assistance of the Hurt Business or the backing or their support. I honestly, I am fucking torn on this one, and this one is literally driving me nuts, and this is a coin toss. It's 50-50 for me. I'm gonna go with Lesnar. I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna go with Lesnar because I think Bobby will get the Hurt Business back at WrestleMania, and that'll be what gives him the edge, that swagger back, which will be enough to get a win against Brock.
Well, folks, get ready for Phil KOE's either 11th or lucky 13th title win tomorrow night. Because do we love Bobby? Yes, we do. So, all right, we got our picks there. Let's get to the next match, gentlemen.
Actually, Phil, hang on. Phil,
oh, yeah, Tony, what's your opener?
Phil just took Bobby, right?
Yep.
Okay.
This is my opening match.
Okay. All right. So for the tiebreaker between me and Tony, I got the Women's Elimination Chamber. Watch it be the Men's Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It could be.
Oh God, you never know. I doubt it. I could see
them. Don't talk me into picking that.
Oh God, maybe. But
you want to talk me into it? I'll pick it.
Go for it. I think it's gonna be the Women's Elimination
Chamber. Fuck it. I'm gonna pick it.
The Men's Elimination. Men's Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Tony, not a bad pick.
There's not a good pick either.
It was the Royal Rumble.
We know what the main event is.
Men's Elimination Chamber is probably going to be match of the night.
Probably.
Maybe.
All righty. Now, moving on to the next match of the evening for us to predict. What do we got here, T?
All right. So next up, we do have the Men's Elimination Chamber match. All right, so we've got Montez Ford, we've got Johnny Gargano, we've got Bronson Reed, we've got champion Austin Theory, we've got Seth Rollins, we've got Damian Priest. Now,
God, that face is the same in this picture as it is in everything else with Gargano. Johnny, same face.
On paper, like this would be like an all-time classic NXT.
This is fun.
Yeah, this will be a great match. This will be match of the night, undoubtedly. It won't be work of the night. That'll be Roman and Sammy, but match of the night. This will be, Chicken, I'm going to let you go first.
Austin retains my 1 point pick. Now, common, this is the one where you're like, oh, well, if it's not Austin, obviously it's going to be Rollins. But I'm going to throw my half-point pick to... I don't see this happening. Rollins is a safe pick, is the backup. But Montez Ford. Like, if you're going to throw a half-point pick in here and you're going to start throwing somebody else into this mix, now that you're taking Roman, or now that you're taking Brock and Bobby like into, you're taking Brock and Bobby into the title picture above this, you have to backfill. Montez Ford is the fucking guy you bring up. So if, and it's a big if, he's number 2 in this match. Montez Ford is my half-point pick.
Okay. Tony, what is your picks for this Elimination Chamber?
Well, mine is, I've got Austin Theory to retain as my 1 point. Clearly, that's very likely.
That's the easy one.
I actually had Montez Ford as my half-point pick, but...
Son of a bitch!
Because if you look at his stint in the Rumble, he came out wearing different gear than his tag partner. Like, Triple H sees the potential with this guy.
I want
this
him to
guy,
win this.
A singles mid-card run with the U.S. title, this could really bolster him up the card if they do it right. If. That's a massive fucking if.
I think he's so good he can get over in spite of that.
I agree. I think he's a great worker. He's a great wrestler. He's got charisma. This guy has all the tools. He does. And I really, really would love to see him win. I'd love to make him my 1 point pick, but I'm not that fucking bold on this.
Rollins is...
You love him so much, why don't you marry him?
I want to pick him.
Rollins is such a safe backup on this one. That's why I can't focus on Rollins on this one.
Okay.
Rollins might
eat the pin on this one to put somebody over.
Well, I can tell you who's not going to win: Gargano or Bronson Reed. If I wasn't
I
going
was
to
about
pick
to say.
Montez Ford as my half-point pick,
Dude, Reed,
I would
the
probably pick
title would
Damian Priest.
die on Reed. Nobody would
Yeah, there's
ever
no
care.
reason
If
to ever
Reed
put it on
wins,
him.
nobody will care.
Yep. This is just for Reed to do a couple of impressive things and then get eliminated.
He's
guys,
a great worker. Don't get
if
me
I
wrong.
can
Like,
be,
he's going to be fun to watch.
if
but
I could be
he's
so
not
bold,
gonna, yeah.
I'm going to get into my picks now. So, all right, these are your picks. All right, these are your picks, and you're not moving them, no matter how persuasive I am. Okay? Because I'm going to make an amazing case for my winners, and I don't want you guys changing them to my picks just because I'm that good. Okay? So, are your picks set?
If I wasn't going to pick Montez, I'd pick Damian Priest as my half-point, but I'm going to stick with Montez Ford.
Okay, Chicken, you're the one who tries to get slippery with this. So your pick's set here.
Austin Ford. I'm
okay.
100%
all right.
in Austin
All
Ford.
right. Now this is what's going to actually happen. Now my 0.5 point pick is just like the two of you, Montez Ford, just because I want to will this into existence.
Exactly.
That's literally all that is.
By our powers combined.
Yes, we're Earth, Wind, Fire, Heart. Montez Ford U.S. title reign.
Please,
but
God,
no,
yes.
Okay.
Give him a singles run.
Tony, you know how you were saying that the U.S. title has no relevance and it's not really a big deal anymore and it's not something that's going to be worth anything and nobody cares about it? Well, guess what, T? In a few short months, the entire world is going to know about the U.S. title. My daughter's going to know what the U.S. title is. Joe fucking Biden might know what the U.S. title is by the time this is over. You want to know how? You want to know why, T? Are you curious?
I would love to.
I'm curious. I will.
Okay. Let me wet my whistle because this is a good one because that was a great introduction.
Okay. I'm excited.
So, yeah, the world is going to know the U.S. title because the safety pick, the one who must win the United States title, is going to be Seth freaking Rollins.
That's 1 point.
And the reason, that's my 1 point. And the reason is because he is going to go to WrestleMania and drop the United States title to none other than Logan Paul. And that is going to turn the U.S. title into a social media prop, which is going to make the entire boardroom literally lift their desks with just how excited they're going to be with that. So yes, Seth is going to win, and he's going to drop the belt at Mania to Logan Paul.
I think okay, so Phil, your thoughts on dropping it to Logan Paul, I don't think are a bad idea for that reason, but I would rather see Austin Theory do it than Seth Rollins.
Seth is your reliable worker,
but
and
they
know Seth
is
going.
No,
Seth
they built Logan Paul, and
Seth can
Rollins
carry anybody to a reasonable match, and that's a hell of a responsibility to put in somebody's hands. And to be frank, Austin Theory is a good wrestler. He is the future, but he's still a little too green for a big responsibility like that. This is what Seth Rollins is built for, and I think he's the guy to do it.
Logan, oh God, I hate it. I hate it, but you might be right.
Well, I got to tell you, I love the pick. Honestly, I really do. If I were you, though, I would have picked Theory to retain and Rollins to be your half point because that's a great story. I think they set up Logan Paul, Seth Rollins, and that's going to be the match at WrestleMania. It's just going to be.
Sorry, what's going to be the match at Mania?
Rollins and Logan Paul will be a match.
Yeah, for the U.S. title.
If it's for the title, great. I think that'd be amazing if they put the title on Logan Paul. I think that's great. I think it's a great pick. But I would have went safety pick if I were you and picked Theory to retain and Rollins as my half point. But hey, very nice pick. I commend it. But yeah,
KOE might be champ.
Would be awesome.
Yeah,
gonna be champ going into Mania.
No, it's a good pick. It's a good pick.
What do we got left?
We just have one match, and it's the Heartbreak.
The match.
My God, this has been just... There's been nothing in professional wrestling that has even sniffed, come close, or even remotely held anybody's hand who's held the jockstrap of this storytelling over the last several years,
I was
decades.
about to say, this is up there with, D-Generation X, the New World Order, the Mega Powers Collide. Like, this is up there with all of those, and that is testament.
When you look at the Bloodline story arc since Roman Reigns came back, everything he's done since he came back as a verifiable heel has been top shelf. His work has been solid. It's been different. And it was just the change he needed. And it just got better and better and better. And his presence and his aura.
Did anybody notice when he stopped wearing that stupid vest?
Yeah, golly, weird how it changed. And far be it from me to suggest, changing history or anything, but maybe Roman Reigns shouldn't have been all nostalgic for the Shield when they split up and then didn't feud with the Shield.
Honestly, from what I heard is that the reason he kind of wore that vest for a little longer is because he didn't quite have some of the muscles on him quite as cut as he wanted for the camera. Once he got the
gear and he kept the music.
Gear.
He kept the gear, the music, and the entrance. People wanted to see Roman Reigns feud with Seth Rollins, feud with Dean Ambrose. They wanted to see a triple threat. They wanted to see the Shield really actually implode. No, they didn't get that. They got Roman Reigns being forced down their throats, feuding with other people that they didn't want to see. They saw him taking Daniel Bryan's spot, and that's why they rejected him. And that's
the Daniel Bryan one was the mutiny.
Yeah, and that's why it took Roman Reigns having to take a leave of absence, dropping the title because of leukemia, coming back and getting the crowd support as a face, and then leaving again, coming back as an actual heel that they wanted all that time. They demanded it. They thirsted for it. They yearned for it. And that story arc, since he's come back, and we're going on, he's almost 900 days, I think. This has been such good storytelling. It's been a slow burn. This is long-term storytelling. AEW fans take note. This is actual long-term storytelling, not 6 weeks of Adam Page as a drunk and
beautiful.
The Bucks like to kick people. Who knows? This has been so good because every in and out, every character that's come in has gone out, has changed sides. This has been so good, and it's been building.
Tony Phil, every time I reference this story, what do I say in the chat?
It makes you hard.
Hashtag greatest story ever told.
Yeah, this has been just fantastic.
Ooh, man.
Everything about
I gotta ask you guys. It comes down to it. So who do you got, and why is it Sami Zayn?
That. I'll mark you down for Sami Zayn.
Don't mark me down quite yet.
You just said it.
No, I asked who do you have, and why is it Sami Zayn?
No,
I was sure
that Sami.
I'm gonna come out real quick and just say, Tribal Chief will retain. This is gonna be a really good match to where this is. Honestly, I want to see how this plays out. There's a little bit of a size discrepancy. I want to see how their styles play together. This could be fun to watch. It could be really bad or really good. I assume they're going to, they've been building up to this. I assume they've been working together, planning this. I look forward to a really fun storytelling match. This has been in the making. This should be fucking great. If it's not great, I'm going to be super pissed. Obviously, Sammy's not going to win this one. There's going to be some fuckery. There's going to be, bloodline jumping in somewhere. I could see some fun shit where Jay comes in and it looks like Jay's going to save Sammy, and then all of a sudden he turns on Sammy and goes back to the bloodline, or vice versa. There's so many things you can do with this. I'm so excited to just see how they play it out. I don't want to predict it. I am a spectator at this point, but I know Roman Reigns, my tribal chief, will retain.
Yes, my tribal chief. Oh, yes, my tribal chief. No, I'm gonna say with this match here, they're going to make you a believer. They're going to, for a minute or two, you're going to actually believe.
You're going to think Sammy can win.
He's going to walk. Now, I'm going to be honest, Tony, in 2015, when you got me back into watching wrestling after a long hiatus as an MMA and things like that, Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt in a Hell in a Cell match was on the card that we watched. Because we were watching the last time Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker ever wrestled. So I was like, okay, we saw them live for the Undisputed title one time at a house show. So I got to see this. Like, it just doesn't matter. I have to see this. I have to see this chapter of my life close. And it was an amazing match. But then I saw this Roman Reigns guy. He's like, oh, that's pretty good. Now, if you would have told me in 2015 that Roman Reigns, the guy who just had a Hell in a Cell match with Bray Wyatt and barely beat him, and El Generico are going to be main eventing the go-home pay-per-view to WrestleMania, and every last one of us would be totally into it more than any other angle that they've had in years, that would have been a hard sell, to be honest with you. But here we stand. Here we stand. I think, obviously, the Tribal Chief takes this, but it sets up Sami and Kevin versus the Usos for the undisputed tag team titles at WrestleMania. I think beyond a shadow of a doubt that that's the match that has to happen. Kevin, Sami, Usos, Mania, all of the straps on the line, and then that is when we know who's going to be the best in that regard. But Roman's got Cody, Sami and Kevin are going to have the Usos ultimately, and I think this all just sets up that tag team.
So, yeah, there's a couple of ways we can go with this. Obviously, I'm going to pick Roman Reigns. I'll rip that Band-Aid off right now. It's going to be Roman Reigns. But there's a couple
Barry
ways
in the lead, T.
Now, if you saw like the promo between Sami and Cody, they played this right. Because Cody has to be like Sami's fucking go-to guy, his best friend, his ally. Because if they even tried to sow seeds of dissent between those two on Raw, Cody's done. Cody's fucking done heading into Mania because Sami is so white hot right now with the crowd. So they had to play it safe, and they did. They did the right thing here. This is smart, and they're doing this.
Jim Cornette was making jokes about it's like big and little brother. Like no.
But they're giving it to you now. Before Mania. That way the crowd knows they got it out of the way. They don't have to be disappointed if it's not on Mania, which would further bury Cody. And we don't want to bury Cody. We want to keep Cody strong. That's why he's nowhere near this fucking show. In fact, I don't even know that we'll see him. So there's a couple ways you can go with this to tell the story heading into Mania, because you got to do something with Sami. Obviously, he's so white hot. So is it going to come down to Roman Reigns needed the help of Jey Uso turning on Sami to beat Sami Zayn? Or are they going to try to set up Jey Uso and Sami Zayn versus Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa?
Yeah, but you get the Usos have the tag belts, so they got to get them off of them. And
that can change. They can do that between now and Mania.
That takes Kevin Owens' whole character out of this. That doesn't make sense.
Kevin Owens is an afterthought. Okay, Sami Zayn.
No,
not after what they just did to KO. Like, dude, yeah, no.
I'm telling
what they did to him at Rumble. Like, no,
he is an integral part of this story.
I'm not saying that's the way I would go with
taking
it.
the belt at Mania. It's
that's
the
not
ultimate
the way I would go.
It's a nice compilation prize for the whole.
You can't ignore this. You cannot ignore the fact that they have tried to at least set up the fact that Jay and Sami at least have some bond or something here, right? There's something going on here.
That's going to be the dissent in the Uso side that gives the W to Sami and Kevin. Because, Tony, as we all know, no, Tony, you're going to have to admit this. No. I got you a checkmate, motherfucker.
Right. Phil's right.
No, because WWE loves nothing more than how is this tag team gonna get a long storyline? And you know I'm right. You've been watching this since you were 5. Okay, you know I'm right.
The dissension has already been planted, and he comes back to Jimmy in this show. There's no dissension.
Will Jimmy choose his brother?
The story's over then.
Or will he
story
choose
of dissent?
Sami?
The story of dissent is over if Jimmy turns on Sami on this show. There's no more dissent.
Well, he's still going to be conflicted. He's still going to be so conflicted.
No, he's not.
Tony.
If he picks a side, he's not conflicted anymore.
Forced to pick a side, forced to pick between his family and his friends. Who's ever been put in that position before, Tony?
But I'm just saying,
it's not like you couldn't milk
you
that
have
for
to add into the fact that Jimmy had to help Roman Reigns beat Sami Zayn, that makes Roman Reigns look weak, because this is the story.
No,
that they're gonna tell.
this hold on. This whole story with the bloodline was, did Jay trust fucking Sammy? And
Right,
Sammy
and he didn't.
No, well, Sammy gained Jay's trust.
Exactly. That's
The
what I'm
one
saying.
dissenter, the one person that did not
Yes.
trust Sammy, and he gained that guy's trust.
Yes.
And now you think that the story's gonna turn to where the family's gonna turn against fucking Sammy all of a sudden? No, they're gonna be like, Jay trusted him. Even when we couldn't, Sammy had our back, and he's right about the tribal chief. Sammy's right. Like, that's how this story's going to play out. The family's going to turn against the tribal chief. That's how you end the bloodline. You have
Paul's
to
going to be looking like this.
This is the crescendo of the goddamn symphony. Like, you have to end the bloodline. The only way you do it is turn the family against fucking Roman Reigns.
I'm not seeing an Elimination Chamber.
No, not an Elimination Chamber. It's going to crescendo at fucking WrestleMania, but
obviously, but it's a good start.
So no, that's my point. You can't, if Jey Uso has to return to the bloodline and go, I'm sorry, I floundered for a few weeks there. I'm sorry I didn't give you my loyalty this whole time, and then has to help him beat Sami Zayn, that makes Roman look weak. And if he does, then
that's
that
the
ends
point.
the turmoil.
They have to make Roman
that ends the
look
turmoil
weak in the
between
movie.
he and Jimmy. So you can't tell that story
Well,
at WrestleMania
this match
if they're going to do that tag.
Does something a lot more important, though, more than anything that it's setting up for Sammy at Mania, because Sammy was also, whether we like it or not, was the guy that single-handedly got Braun Strowman over. He's a guy that's very good at this, and what he's here to do is to begin something in the audience's mind. When he's going to have Roman so close, and he's going to make you a believer that, oh my God, Sammy is one kick away from being the champion. What that's doing is building the desire. Because right now there's no desire to pull the belt off Roman. He's the coolest thing there is. But if Sammy does his job, he will build the desire to take the belt off of Roman, which then Cody gets to just clasp in his hands like a beautiful present that will then be ripped away because Roman Sammartino shall reign forever. But no, if you're going to do it, if you're actually going to do it, this is how you would actually do it, because Sammy's going to build that desire in the audience, which is then going to stew for the next month. The idea of how can we get this belt off that dastardly evil Roman? How can we finally get it onto some? Okay, Sammy almost, but Cody's good, just as good. And yeah, that's what Sammy's real job is to do, is to build that want, that need, to make us hunger for the idea that Roman is going to needs to lose that belt. So the way that Sammy's going to lose here,
he's not the dinner, he's the appetizer.
Well, no, the way he's going to lose here is going to be an injustice so great that we might be talking about this for like years, how Sammy got fucked at Elimination Chamber.
You said the men's Elimination Chamber is going to be the match of the night. No, this is going to be the match of the night.
This will be the work of the night.
This will be the best match of the night.
Yeah.
Work of the night. This will be the best match. This will be. I'm telling you.
Potentially.
This is going to be the best match of the night. And here's how this is going to play out. I feel like at the end of this match, I don't think that Jimmy is going to help Roman win, because like I said, that's going to make him look weak. I don't think Jimmy will help him.
Do you think Jay's going to not help Roman win?
Regardless of how Jay's used, he's going to be standing with Roman. The bloodline will be
I don't
reunited.
think you'll see Jimmy or Jay. Personally, okay. I don't think you're going to see Jimmy or Jay. You're going to see Solo. And that's how Sammy loses.
You're going to see all of them.
That's it.
You're going to see them all.
Yeah, all of them are going to play some part. Like, they're all going to be there in the arena that night.
I think you're only going to see Solo.
No.
And Solo's going to make sure Sammy loses.
No, it's got to take all of them, because it's been a family effort the whole way through, including Sammy. You're going to see, regardless of how they use Jay, you're going to see them all reunited, sans Sami Zayn. United. at the end of this because they have to look strong heading
I'd
into
protect the
WrestleMania.
story. I'd protect the story.
That is protecting the story. If you break them up now, heading into Mania, that's the worst.
That's
thing
why
you can do.
I wouldn't want them showing up on this. Like I would
They
just have
to
Solo.
be. If you have to.
I'd
because
leave
they've
the
been
mystery
integral.
out there.
They
Dude,
have been integral
the
in
fun
the
part
Sami
about the
Zayn arc.
bloodline right now, the fun part about the bloodline is the mystery of where
The Usos
fucking
have been
Jay and
integral
Jimmy
to Sami Zayn
stand.
this whole time.
No. Listen to me. Where do Jimmy and Jay stand with each other when it comes to Sammy versus Roman? That's the mystery. Why would you give up the storyline? Why would you give that up on
You're
this
not giving
one?
it up.
If they come out and defend fucking Roman and go against Sammy, yeah, you give it up. Like the
No, because
story's
this is
gone.
Elimination Chamber, not WrestleMania. Because if we're building towards the Usos versus
No,
Kevin
WrestleMania
and Sami
is where you
at
give that shit
WrestleMania,
up.
that's when you have the real actual descent. If you're going to pull the trigger on the descent, you have to do it there. You were making this case a second ago. So if you're going to do it, this is where Jay comes back. He plants his flag. I'm still with the bloodline. And then
I can
at
see it
WrestleMania,
happening. I don't think you should, though.
WrestleMania, when you have that tag match, the Usos versus Kevin and Sami, it looks like the Usos are going to retain. And then Jay does the same thing to Sami Zayn. Hear me out. Does the same thing to Sami Zayn that he did at War Games to Jay and offers up his brother.
We shall see. We shall see. I think in terms of, I think you're going to have a very conflicted Jimmy and Jay. I think where they
At
stand
WrestleMania.
is not going to be very, well, it's not going to be known here, but they're going to try to do the let's let bygones be bygones and let's try to do our match at Mania because we're the tag team champions and we're brothers, Oos. Come on, Oos, we're brothers, Oos. We got to be able to overcome this. And then, Tony, you know I'm right. Since you've been 5 years old, you've seen the WWE. How is this team going to get along? It's been
the story they're telling with the fucking identical twins.
The story they've been telling for 42 years, Tony.
Okay,
Come
Shawn
on.
Michaels and Stone Cold, yes.
And we all
Jimmy
fall
and
for
Jay
it.
fucking
And we all
Uso,
love it.
That's not the story.
So, all right. So, folks, you've heard some of our predictions heading into Mania, which you will also see which ones are ultimately right. But, gentlemen, as I'm known to say around here, all that being said, thank you for joining us here at the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast for our predictions and reviews, or previews rather, of Elimination Chamber. If you want to see our reviews, you better hit that like, share, subscribe right here on YouTube. Also follow us, Big Bucket Empire on Facebook. Also Rev Rest Pod on Twitch, folks. And God bless every last one of you. I hope you all make it back here to the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast tomorrow night. Happy, healthy, much the wiser for our review of Elimination Chamber, folks. I am your King of Extreme, Phil KOE, the man of the hour, the man of the power, the man that makes it the podcast cower. You can, of course, find me, Phil KOE, at KOE Nation on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch. And I am signing off and handing it off to my indomitable broadcast partners. Tony, Chicken, take it away.
Hey, folks, thanks for tuning in. I am your current reigning, defending Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast champion. I'm excited to defend the belt against everything we talked about tonight. Like, I hope I hope I'm right. Like, I think this is going to be a close one. Well, it will be a close one because we had a lot of similar picks. Doesn't matter how it ends up. It's going to be a tight show. It's going to come down to, there's not a lot of matches and a lot of, some of them pretty predictable. So it'll be a tight show, be a fun one. Make sure you tune in for the review. But then, like Phil said, like, share, subscribe, because as we head to WrestleMania, holy shit, it's going to build up. This is going to get even tighter. It's going to get even tougher, and we'll see who holds on to it. And yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. This has been fun. Appreciate everybody in chat. Appreciate you. Love you. Bye.
Folks, it's going down tomorrow night. Like, share, subscribe. Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast. Be here for the results, the review, and the recap, and the star ratings for all the matches. And get our analysis as we head into WrestleMania, because the season is upon us, folks. You do not want to miss it. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow night.
And see if it just smooths itself out.
Get back, tell you what I'll do. If I ever get back, I promise to refabricate you. Raging rivers of gold. That's what the brochure advertised. And now we're lost. We gotta take it down. Let you down slow. It's hard to survive.